We're joined by Coach Dan Hurley from UConn. Coach, if you'd like to make an opening statement, then we'll open up for questions.
Yeah, obviously tough loss. A huge credit to Creighton. I think they're probably just experience in in high leverage games like this in the postseason showed itself. Last couple of minutes of a incredibly hard fought game between two teams that obviously we're desperate to win this championship here this week, and two teams that obviously we have a chance to to play well next week and potentially beyond. So credit, obviously credit to Creighton. Obviously our guys are crushed. That was a tough one. Obviously had a great chance there, but a little bit of I think inexperience with the program and experience with the team in a postseason game like that, I think showed up in some critical spots. And obviously, our calling card the whole year has been, our defense and our rebounding, and the difference in the game was the 17. It was the 17 offensive rebounds that we gave up. Was obviously that was probably the difference in the game.
Go to questions. Dama Mori, Hartford.
And 3 games against Creighton. Obviously, they've all been very, very close. Could have gone the other way many ways. Villanova 2. Are you kind of looking at that going into the next week? That's the missing piece of the puzzle to beat one of these teams, kind of get over that hump.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the first Creighton game, we kind of gave it away. This one, they won it late. We led for 25 minutes of the game. They led for a little bit less than 9 minutes. I think that this was my whole thought process kind of going into this week, going into that game was, again, having not as a program, the last time we were in a conference tournament game, we were getting 40-pieced by Houston, and versus a quality opponent. So, this was brutal. We had a chance, obviously a great chance today to advance and play for a championship, tomorrow versus a team that we've played really well against. So this one stings, but this is what the game is. This is what the opening game is going to feel like next week. And I just think as a program, we needed to experience kind of the tension and intensity of a high leverage game in March. We haven't been in one of those in years.
Pat Eaton, Rob, AP.
Dan, can you discuss what you learned from this tournament that you can take in to next week, and how much better is this team going to be for having been through, like you said, a postseason that you haven't been to in a while?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing, obviously, we're playing really well. Today, we lost a 1-possession game to a team, that's a Big East championship caliber, a team that's a Sweet 16 level team, and they're a hair better than us. So, the group is devastated. It was hard to get through the post game in there. What a difference a couple of years makes in terms of the emotions in the locker room after a conference tournament loss. The emotion and what these guys felt for not being able to advance for each other and the staff and the fans. I mean, this is that pride feels like it's back, and we have to clean a couple things up, and we're excited about next week. We feel like we could play with anybody and potentially beat anybody.
Wayne Norman. Wayne, you're next.
Hi, Dan. The status of R.J. Cole, what happened to him and how it changed the game when he went to the bench? Because all of a sudden you got outscored 11-3.
I mean, R.J.'s one of our, R.J.'s the leader. He's our point guard. Obviously, it hurt not having him guard Zagorowski. It hurt not having him, down the stretch of that game to try to execute some things. We were a little unsettled without him. He's played as good as any point guard in the conference over the course of the last month or so. So, I mean, he's stitched up. He'll go through the concussion, protocol. We're not sure where that is. Obviously took a hell of a fall there.
Go to Dave Borges. Dave.
Yeah, Adama obviously got off to a hot start and then hit the foul trouble. How tough was that for you guys in the first half and really kind of throughout the game?
Yeah, no, it hurt not having him in there. Like to go back and see the fouls. He was plus 12 when he was in there. He was a real difference maker. Obviously the guy's a beast. So, and they were blitzing those ball screens, and James and RJ in particular they were so heavy with showing bodies to those guys that just not having him available really hurt.
Sean McFarland.
You guys went the final 6 minutes of the second half without a field goal, and obviously missing RJ is a huge part of that. But I was wondering what, from your vantage point, kind of stalled up the offense down there.
I mean, they played, they played great defense. Obviously, if you watch the game, it was a defensive struggle, a very, very intense game. They're one of the best, offensive teams in the country. They shot 37% and overall, and 33% from the field in the second half, and had 7 assists and 13 turnovers. So, it was a very intense game. Baskets were at a premium. We got. I think we hadn't been in a moment like that. Semifinals, Big East tournament. I think we wanted it so bad that we might have. We might have gotten in our own way. And then again, you lose your point guard. They lose Zagorowski for the last 4 or 5 minutes. I'm not sure how clean it looks for them.
Kevin Keefe.
Dan, obviously James draws a lot of attention and people are physical with him. What can you do going forward to kind of free him up?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the Big East games are really, really physical. He gets fouled a lot. It's the only way that people can guard him. I think that, he's got to maybe, he draws that second defender. I just think he's got excellent passing skills. It's just, he's got to, I just think, when he draws that second defender, just, get off the ball a little bit easier. But, James Bouknight, James Bouknight has done so much for UConn basketball. His decision to come here has changed the landscape, and the returners and the other, Cook and Jalen and all these guys. I mean, James doesn't have to explain his performance to anybody. What he's done for UConn basketball and where this thing was at a couple of years ago. James will make some adjustments and he'll play great next week.
Last question, Mike Mavrodakis.
Hey, Dan. We haven't seen a cook in a little while. Is everything good with him?
Yeah, he's his health is getting better, and he'll be fully recovered, and yeah.
And thanks for your
what?
Thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
That was a great last question.